Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Kyle.
Not to be a regular, am I, this one? I'm going to keep my hands still.
You haven't kept them still so far. They're like a flag waving.
That'll rip.
Did you go to college? What did you study?
Child welfare.
Okay. And Clive?
Sydney Technical College and studied, I believe it was architecture.
Okay, nice. Why did you guys study those courses? What were your motivations?
Because I was interested in people.
And while I go there, I wanted to earn a living, mate.
That's very important.
Very important, isn't it?
Did you guys have any pets growing up?
Yep.
What did you have?
Dogs.
How many dogs?
Oh, over the years, quite a lot. Because in Cobar, people used to go around and throw poison baits to kill them. So,
Jeez.
You've got to go louder. You're going to pick this up on your...
One dog I had was called Brownie, and he was brought up from Sydney because the war was on. They didn't want my cousins or the dog to be killed. So.
Oh, we had an old Foxy, very sexy Foxy. And he'd come home with a note round his neck, please keep your dog at home.
Don't know if I want to delve further into that one. Okay.
He'd go on the rampage.
Yeah. Right. You would would you attack other dogs?
Eh?
Would you attack other dogs as
No.
well?
We only had one dog.
No.
Yeah.
Did you live in a house or an apartment?
House.
Out in Cobar?
Yes.
Yourself?
We lived in a house as well, mate.
Clive's father built his house.
Yeah.
But you lived on the veranda?
I know, actually. I did sleep on that veranda until I was about 12, and then the old man divided off part of his garage, and I had my bedroom in the back of the garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, Clive was moved out of the bedroom because his younger brother
Yeah.
was Nana's favourite, and
Yeah.
she gave him the bedroom, and
Yeah.
Clive was in the garage. But the garage
Yeah.
suited him because
Yeah.
his mates made that their meeting place. Because
It was,
Clive,
it was only
Boys den.
it was only a 3-bedroom house, and then there's 4 boys and 1 girl. One girl commandeered the bedroom, and my parents had the other bedroom. And you don't have 4 boys in one room, mate. It'd be mayhem.
Yes. I can imagine. Do you know any stories about the history of your family name? Or the origins of your family?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
You've heard of Willie the Conqueror, 1066 and all that? Well, William the Conqueror's knights were named after saints. When he landed in England, he took one of his knights called Stephen. See? Very, very religious people we are. And he made him the warden of Wales. And Stephen, when he was in Wales, he got very friendly with one of the chieftain's daughters. And the family, the Stevens family, started off in Wales just after 1066, mate, plus 9 months.
Wow. That's very good.
and when you go to Wales, Clive's auntie was sort of taught there. There was places, streets named after them. The family lived on in Wales.
They come from Stephen's Lane in Lymsham in Wales. We're a very important family, Kyle.
Got the street named after.
Yeah.
And Dina, the origins of your family name?
Well, I guess we're Irish. I don't. Beyond that, it was just the forebears came from Ireland, and I guess that's where the name came from.
Fair enough. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Did you have? How many brothers and sisters? Growing up?
I had 1 sister and 2 brothers.
And Clive?
One sister and 3 brothers.
What are their names?
Raymond, John, Dulcie, Clive and Frank.
Dina?
Yeah, well, I was first Diana, and then I had my brother John, and a brother Peter, and a sister Jennifer.
Lovely. What do you remember about your siblings from growing up? Were you close in age?
We weren't particularly close in age. We're probably a fairly close family. My brother Peter, absolutely, he was a baby when I was, before I left Cobar, and when I left Cobar he just wept because I was like a parent to him.
Wow.
So I was very close to Peter. Jennifer was born just as I left Cobar, so I wasn't as close to her as a kid. But
Yeah.
I was later when we moved to Sydney, but Peter was the one I was closest. John was the one I was closest to.
Yeah. And Clivey, what do you remember about your siblings when you grew up?
Oh, a bit rough and tumble, mate. 4 boys and 1 girl, bit rough and tumble.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you had to look after yourself, and that's about it.
I'll tell you one story to that. Kevin, Clive's friend, said he would go, and what would happen, everyone at the table would be all arguing about who was going to have the biggest piece. By the time they'd finished arguing, Clive had eaten it and left the table.
So he was the most intelligent in the house.
That's right. I'm glad you thought of that, Kyle. I was the most intelligent in the place.
That's good. How did you meet your spouse?
Well, she met me, I think. I don't know. Oh yeah, a couple of country birds, and I thought, oh my God, here's a go.
Just like that.
Yeah,
He was visiting his friends
yeah,
who he'd designed their house. They didn't have any money, and every time he went over there, he would make some alteration to the
Yeah.
plan. So when they'd see him coming, they'd
Right.
go,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, go away, because they knew he was going to change it.
yeah,
And then he walked over from there to our place.
yeah.
His brother was swimming in the Australian Backstroke Championships that night, and we all went to swimming to watch him. And so that was how I met Clive, over swimming.
How old were you when you met?
So I was 18 or 17, and I was 22.
Well, very young.
Yes, we were very young.
We were very fortunate.
And how old were you when you got married?
I was 22.
And I was 26.
And when you got engaged, did you get engaged pretty
Yeah,
close to
I
getting
can't
married?
remember that.
No. The proposal, do you remember the proposal? Did you get down on one
Yeah,
knee?
yeah, she got down on knees and says, please, take me away from my family.
He was always at my family. My mother was always feeding him.
The greedy guts, eh?
Yeah.
She was a good cook.
Yes. What are the most difficult and most rewarding things about growing older?
The most rewarding is that Clive's still here.
Yes. And the most difficult?
It's harder to get around.
Yes. Clive?
Well, the thing is, when you get older, you haven't got to work. The government looks after you, mate. And actually, I've got more money now on the old age pension than I had when I was working. I don't pay taxes, don't pay anything. Now it all comes, it just floats in every second week. Floats in manna from heaven. Ah, beautiful.
He was always working on his drawing board to earn more money.
No kids, no nothing, mate.
That's a big plus, I guess. When you get older, you get a bit of time to yourselves.
Yeah.
And what's the most difficult, Clive?
Well, that last question, Kyle?
What's the most difficult thing about getting old? The straddlers that come in?
No, I don't think there's anything difficult about getting old, as long as your health's all right. This has only happened to me, what I'm going through now, in the last about 3 months. I'm getting up to virtually 93 without any problems at all.
But now you can't breathe.
But now I'm finding it hard to breathe.
And that's important, to breathe.
Yeah. If you don't breathe, mate, you don't exist. So,
Well, you both definitely got your mind still intact, which I think is one of the most important things.
Well,
You're both very sharp between the ears.
You may say that, other people may say completely different.
As long as we hear each other.
Yes, which can be hard at times. But you've definitely got the humour.
Oh, mate, you've got to have a bit of a smile occasionally.
What did you always say? Keep the child alive inside?
Oh, yeah, never grow up. That's the main thing, never grow up. Never be an oldie.
Yes. At nearly 93. What big world events were the most memorable while you were growing up?
Second World War. And my two brothers were called up into the army. And my father was a veteran from the First World War. And my mother never really got over it, my two brothers being called up in the Second World War, because she said in her class that when she was at botany school, every boy in that class died in the First World War, and so she was really upset about my two brothers being called up into the Second World War.
But all your brothers survived from the war, right?
Oh yeah, well they were accountant types, mate, and they look after themselves. They were bean counters. And all they did, they were quartermaster sergeants. I don't think they ever heard of shot fired.
Well, Darwin, didn't Bob got dropped in Darwin once?
They were in Darwin, but the Japanese were pretty crooked aiming. Pretty crooked aim. They never knocked them out, mate.
What happened? Didn't someone put their foot in?
Oh yeah, the only injury my second eldest brother got, he was going for a swim in Leicester, something like Leicester Park, down about 50 miles south of Darwin, and he's standing beside the pill, and someone come up behind him with a size 14 army boot and booted him in the bum and pushed him into the pill, and he got a pension off that. That was his war injury. Get booted in the bum.
And Dina, what about you? What was your most memorable world event when you were growing up?
Well, I wasn't particularly affected by the war. An uncle was enlisted, but in Cobar there weren't a great lot of changes at all, so my life went on pretty much the same.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
A teacher, a preschool teacher.
I wanted to be a draftsman, because I didn't know anything else what a draftsman was beside. You could have been electrical draftsman, engineering draftsman, architect. I just wanted to be a draftsman. It just drawed, and that was it.
What do you remember about your parents and your grandparents?
Well, my parents were incredibly kind and incredibly capable. My father was mayor of the town for 10 years. My mother was president of just about every organisation in town. So they were very civic minded. And my father would, like, one child drowned once, and he would get people up from the city to teach the people in Cobar to teach the children to swim. So he was very proactive. If kids from the country didn't have anywhere to live, to go to school, he would instigate the building of a hostel so kids from the country could come out. He was always looking at what he could do to help people.
And Clive, what do you remember about your parents and your grandparents?
My mother was the 13th child of 14 in her family. By the time she got married, I don't remember my grandfather on my mother's side. I don't remember my grandfather on my father's side or my grandmother there. The only one I remember is my mother's mother, and to me she's always seemed to be pretty old, but she only about 85 when she died. But that's about all I can remember of her, because I was only about 8 or something when she died.
How did your grandfather lose his eye?
Oh mate, looking through keyholes.
Your mother would be very upset with that reply.
Returning. Now, how did he lose his eye?
I got no idea, mate.
No idea.
It dropped out and he couldn't find the damn thing.
He wore a patch over it, so it was
Yeah.
obvious he'd lost it.
He most probably is a pirate.
That sounds about right. I can see that in you, Clive.
I'm a pirate he would have been.
And what about your parents? What do you remember about your parents?
Oh, I quite well, you know. They're still with me, actually. My parents are still with me. And you don't seem to lose your parents, Cole, even though they're dead. They're still with you. Their attitudes and memories were all there, right in your head all the time.
Yes.
He was a very hard-working man, your father. He built their house remotely. He did work very hard.
Also, he's very politically aware, especially for trade unionists. And there was a carriage built on the railway, and he's a very keen member of the Labor Party.
I mean, when I used to hate to see him in Oakley because I could be 3 streets away and he would scream out hello, scream out my name. So he was very, very confident, and one of his best friends was the Liberal parliamentarian. They got on very well. And he used to belong to the Manchester Unity, which looked after people, and he was always visiting people who were sick.
What do you want your children and grandchildren to remember about you?
But I loved them.
Clive?
God. Oh, I don't know what.
Any sweet words, or is Dina the only?
Well, maybe Dina's right. We do love them
Beautiful.
for all their shortcomings.
Add that in there. There's always got to be a silver lining. Okay.
Well, he was always a backstop. If anyone ever wanted anything done, they knew where to come.
Yeah.
And
That's
he never
right.
said no.
Yeah, amazing grandparents. What kinds of clothes, hobbies, slang terms were popular when you were a teenager?
He didn't have any particular style. I mean, I was really lucky. My mother was a good dressmaker, and I had an auntie who had lovely clothes which she'd send to me, which were beautiful, but I hated getting second-hand clothes, even if they were beautiful. But I was very lucky because she was such a good seamstress that I always had lovely clothes. Well dressed, because that was important to my mother.
Well, the thing is, I just had the basics, Kyle. When I started work, when I was 14, I got £1 a week. And then when I got a job when I was 15, working for an architect, I got £2 a week. So the thing is, there's not much change left out of £2 a week when you've got to feed yourself, pay your fares to go to work. There's nothing left, so you used to just wear the basics.
You gave most of it to your mother because she said
I know,
she
gave
needed
her half of it.
He did.
Yeah, gave her half.
Good boy.
Yeah,
He was a good boy.
yeah.
What life advice would you pass on to your grandchildren?
Be kind, be happy, be honest.
Be truthful, mate. Don't pull the wool over people's eyes.
Do your best at whatever it is.
Yeah.
Make sure you like what you do.
Beautiful.
Here, here.
Yes, here. What was your favourite thing about school, and your least favourite thing?
Probably friends.
Friends was your favourite?
And I liked school. I liked learning.
So there wasn't a least favourite?
No. And I was only a small school, but I'd read every book in that library. I used to get them to get books from other towns, really. I just read. I was a tremendous reader.
And Clive?
Hated school, mate. I opted out wherever I could. Someone said, who wants to go and do gardening? up goes the hand. Who wants to clean up the yard? Up goes the hand. Anything to get out of the class.
Change the ink bottles.
And do the ink wells, make the ink on a Monday morning, anything at all to keep out of that damn classroom. Because the well was a much bigger place. I found classroom claustrophobic. It's absolutely crazy. Getting a boy off the street, out of the bush, and putting him into a classroom and say, sit there for 6 hours and you do work. That just wasn't for me, mate, was it?
No.
Clive used to wag school, and he'd go to Como Bridge with those great big pylons, and he would somehow clamber down the pylon to the water and fish.
Alright, well I think these questions are going to be just for Dina. Who was your favourite teacher and what was your favourite subject?
I loved English and history, and I liked geography, and my favourite teacher was a Mr. Russell, who made English live. He was just the most wonderful man. So I was lucky about him.
My favourite subject was school holidays. I really come top in school holidays, mate.
You made the most of it. You were high marks.
Yeah,
Overachiever.
high marks, yeah.
But your mother didn't know you wagged school all the time. You were good at that.
What was your last advice to the grandchildren? Be honest. Don't pull the wool over their eyes.
Well, he had practice doing what he wanted.
Yes. What were your children like when you? What were your children like growing up?
Delightful.
Little angels with two horns, mate.
We were very lucky. Janelle and Brett were best friends. They were best friends until they were teenagers, when they had other friends. But they really loved each other, and they'd spent a lot of time together, and so they were really, as I say, really good friends. Mandy and Ward were younger, but they really, as a family, got on well. I guess we did a lot of travelling, so we were in the combi van a lot, and they were all together, but they really got on very well. They liked each other.
What was your first job? What was your favourite job?
My first job, I left school on a Thursday. Monday, I was working as an office boy at the headquarters of the RSL in the War Memorial Building in Hyde Park. I was an office boy, and I got £1 a week for 5.5 days. So that wasn't bad, was it? I had nothing before that, so actually a quid was a lot of money to me.
But you gave most of it to your mum.
I gave 10 bob to my mum, and I had 10 bob to live on, and really live it up for a week.
And he used to, when he had to take the mail down to the post, the GPO, he used to walk instead of getting a tram, because then he could save the penny.
Save tuppence.
Tuppence.
Wow.
My second job?
Well, Dina, what was your first job?
My first job was working in the child welfare department.
For both of you, what was your favourite job?
Well, the second job I had when I was 15, I got a job working for an architect when I was 15, and I then got £2 a week. So my wages increased by 100%. That's incredible, wasn't it?
Living the high life.
And that was another 5.5 day a week. And I hated working on a Saturday morning. Everyone used to work Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
I hated that.
The weekend's for having fun, isn't it?
That's right.
Getting out and going, catching waves in the ocean. And
That's right.
Particularly when you lived in Oakley and you'd go fishing and you'd go up the Needles. And Clive slipped up in the Needles and smashed his head open, and had to have someone put him in a boat and take him so he could have his head stitched up. So.
Gee, didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Well, my brain never got over it.
But there was the spirit of adventure up there at the
Yeah.
Needles, doing what you wanted.
Yeah.
What were your favourite games and hobbies? Did you play any sports?
I played basketball.
Yeah. Well, we were members of the local swimming club,
And I
and
I met Clive at the swimming club.
When I was a teenager, we then I used to play rugby league.
And he
After
tells
that.
the story that he was played in the forward and he was so light that he was always shoved into the mud. And so he'd come home and his mother would run the bath to the top and he'd get in boots and all because he had so much mud on him.
Oh, a pack of bruises, mate. They were. I used to get buried every Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. Used to get buried in the local ground.
And what else did you guys do for fun when you were younger?
We went for picnics. That's what you would go for picnics with your friends, and there was lots of lovely places to go for picnics.
Yeah.
So we did that a lot.
Well, we did had a rowing boat at one point, and with a sail on it, we used to muck around in the Georges River for quite a long time.
And
Yeah.
wanted to tip over,
Yeah.
his brother-in-law had a house at Oakley on the water, and Clive would always be tipping over, and Jimmy would get in his boat and come out to rescue him.
Did you ever see a shark in all the time you spent out there in the Georges?
No, well, the only sharks in Oakley were land sharks, mate.
I lived in Oakley too, that's where I met Clive.
Yeah.